Welcome along to the Irish Examiner's coverage of the Co-op Superstore's Cork Premier Senior Hurling Championship quarter-final. This clash between Sarsfields and Erins coming to you from Porky with Mark Landers and Kieran Fraggy Murphy. I'm Oisin Langan, and we are looking forward to what should be a very, very good occasion. Sarsfields pretty much unbackable, Mark, but Erins have proved it throughout this championship they cannot be written off.
Yeah, Sars coming to the game, Oisin is raging hot favourites, and on the back of victories I suppose against Douglas and Middleton and Ballyhay, they're worthy favourites. And I suppose you saw today Ballyhale Shamrocks, we saw it live on television as well. There's, even though you might be raging hot favourites, any team can put it up to anybody in any one day. So I mean, while Sars are very, very strong favourites, the big thing here that people need to realise is this is an East Cork derby played in Páirc Uí Chaoimh in immaculate condition, and we won't really know what fight Erins are going to bring to the game, because in their previous 3 games that they've played this year, they've gone heavily down by 7, 8, 9 points in all those games and have clawed their ways back. So they've showed tremendous fighting spirit, but I don't think if they give Sars the opportunity tonight to go 8 or 9 points, Sars won't let them back into the game like we've seen in previous games.
And you're absolutely right, conditions perfect for hurling. We've got the sun coming through the clouds. Kieran, you were saying perfect Instagram conditions, you can fill up your page, but what about the game itself? What are you expecting?
Yeah, I think Mark kind of covered it there. I mean, obviously Erins are coming in as underdogs, and they're going to bring a lot of pressure, and they're going to look to use their physicality. We were only just commenting there, myself and Mark. You're looking at their half forward line there. You've Kieran Murphy, Mossy Carroll, Robbie Flynn. You've Owen Murphy inside as well too. They're all big men. I would imagine that they'll be putting a lot of long ball down on top of the Sars defence, and just seeing how they handle it, looking to pick up a few breaks. And the one thing about this kind of Erins team, and it's been shown over the years, they never give up. And even against Newtown the last minute goal to get through to this game here, and that just typifies this team and what Martin Bowen brings to Erins. So big challenge for Sars here now, hoping that they get off to a good start and just get into their rhythm and flow and play the game that they want to play. But certainly Erins won't want that to happen.
It is good for Erins that if they need to, they can just go simple, go along to the big man. That's what they did against Newtown. They were, I think, 5 points down in injury time.
That's right,
and they got the result they needed by just going long and getting the goal.
Yeah, and they got a goal and 3 points actually late in the game to get it, and it was actually a draw they got. So they actually qualified for the quarter final this evening by fact of scoring differences. But Colm Coakley, the guy who actually got a long range free that night, who was also the Cork under 20 physio, he's been in Australia for a number of years. He's back with Kieran's friend Pat Ryan, and he was involved with Munster in rugby, but he got the goal that went all the way to the net to get them the draw. I think Newtown will probably be very disappointed, but look, that's championship matches for you, Oisin. You get I suppose you get to the next round, the final whistle goes, so it's
they had enough chances. They had enough chances in that game.
They did. But I suppose it has been a trait of Erins all year this year. They went down to Bishopstown as well, and they also went down to Blackrock. And the first game we covered on the Examiner Live this year was the Blackrock game, and they were 9 points down at one stage, and Blackrock were cruising. They brought it back to a point with 3 minutes to go. The game could have went anywhere, and just Blackrock just saw it out in the end. So, as Kieran has already mentioned, Erins are the one team that will never ever give up, and more especially when they're playing against East Cork neighbours here. I was involved with McKilly on a number of occasions when Erins beat us late in the game. So you never have Erins beaten until the final whistle.
And of course, in McKeely, the champions have already gone out, and that means, I guess, that the championship has opened up a bit. Glen Rovers already in the semi-final because they had such a impressive run in the group stages. Let's have a look at the teams. We'll start with Erins Mark, there's some impressive standout players in that, as you've already talked about, but who are we looking to tonight? Who has to play well for Erins to have a chance? Keep in mind, they are by far and away seen as an underdog in this one. I saw one bookmakers giving odds of 4-1 on for Sarsfields last night. So
I mean, look, I suppose the main players on the Erins team, Oisin, and I suppose Shane Murphy and the back has been a fantastic servant for Erins. James O'Flynn at centre back is a converted forward, I suppose, in some respects. He would have played all his underage in the forwards. He has played very well at centre back, and Stephen Cronin beside him is very, very experienced. In the middle of the field, Colm Coakley, the aforementioned, and then up front, I suppose a lot will rely, I suppose, on the likes of Robbie O'Flynn and Owen Murphy. They have been their 2 main scorers. But I think in overall, when I look at the stats of what Erins have scored this year versus Sars, Erins only scored an average of 2.14 per game, and Sars have scored 3.21. So on the scoring stakes, Erins need to come up with a big score tonight if they're going to beat Sars.
Let's have a look at that Sars team, Fraggy. I guess Jim Sweeney or James Sweeney, if you want to give him his full name, and Jack O'Connor up front, they can rip apart defences. Young Daniel Hogan, he's had a real impact so far, but it's not just about that front three, is it?
No, certainly not. Like, I mean, it's backboned by a lot of experienced guys. You've Conor O'Sullivan, Craig Leahy, William Carney. They've all been there, through the county wins, and that's a great launch pad. You've the experience then of Alan Kennedy in goal, who's been tremendous for Sars down through the years, and you've the repositioning of Daniel Carney now at centre back, and he'll be tested now tonight, I would imagine, kind of under the puck out from Aaron's own, and how he kind of deals with that. But you look at it then up front this year. You've Liam Healy, who was exceptional last year in the under-21 county win. He's been brilliant. Jack O'Connor has been on fire. He's been a threat right throughout the group stages, and he's going to. It'll be interesting to see who picks him up tonight, because he really is hitting form in this championship. And then you've Daniel Hogan. He got 1-4 from play in the minor semi-final the other night, and he's been going great. Deserves his spot. Cian Darcy misses out tonight because of it, but you have talent up there. You need the likes of James Sweeney, then Aaron Myers, to work hard, give the ball to these guys and let them do the damage.
Okay, well, we're almost at throw-in time. We realise that you'd love to be here and you can't, but we are glad to bring you this game. We know how much it means to you, and we're, I guess, honoured to be here as well. Let's have a look out onto that pitch and witness those conditions. Erin's own in the in the changed white jerseys today. What's going through the players' minds right now, Mark? Because this is knockout hurling, so I imagine the nerves are maybe greater, and maybe for Sarsfields they're greater than Erin's own, because for Erin's own this is kind of a free shot.
Yeah, degree, but you're right, Oisin, this is the knockout championship match tonight, so the winners of tonight's game are going to be playing Glen Rovers in the semi-final. We've a new system in Cork now where you have 3 group matches, so whether a team is beaten in the first round or the second round, they can still actually qualify for the latter stages, as what we've seen with Corsi Rovers today. They had a massive win against Watergrass Hill, but when they played in their last game they had 0 points on the board. They now find themselves in the semi-final of one of the intermediate grades. So I think the big thing, a lot of the lads will probably the first 5 or 6 minutes maybe sounding themselves out and feeling their way into the match, but I think just to comment on a couple of things on the field, it's absolutely magnificent, and myself and Cian were actually out in the field beforehand, and it is fantastic. We've played in Croke Park and we've played in Thurles. They're fantastic stadiums. Now delighted to say here in Cork that the stadium is, and the field matches the stadium, I suppose. I
still haven't got used to that patch right in front of us here in the media box that is no longer brown or no longer has water on it. Kieran, this is a fantastic surface, best in the country, I think, in any sport.
Yeah, certainly. The pitch has been tremendous. I think you've seen it actually in the games that have been on here this year. We were very fortunate there that the last day with the Examiner Live, we were watching the Douglas game and Middleton, and it was an exceptional game, and that's what you want. You want the best games in the championship inside and the best pitches, and the pitch would only complement the games, and we're certainly looking for that again tonight. It's going to be really interesting, the kind of first few minutes, in terms of as Mark said, fellas sounding each other out, who's picking up who, who's going to line up in the half forward line for Erin's own. There was a lot of talk about that and where they'd position Kieran Murphy. So there's going to be a lot of kind of I suppose looking at the opposition's tactics and how they're operating in the first few minutes. But it should be a good game, and hopefully we'll get it going right from the start.
The other thing I suppose, Oisin, is that there's a very strong breeze tonight, and it's actually blowing into the Blackrock end. We can see the tricolour, and it's very, very strong. So, and it looks as though Erin's own will have it in the first half.
Aaron Naveen, and then the Cork Senior Hurling quarter final between Sars and Erin's own. I know we've had a good few games at this stage, so we're kind of used to it, but what effect does not having a crowd here have, Fraggy?
Yeah, it's a completely different atmosphere. You know, like if you were here now tonight, you'd have everyone in Glanmire and Glonton here, you know, shouting on the teams. You know, it's amazing because you could hear the Erins own manager Donald O'Rourke in the huddle beforehand, which is something that you wouldn't be used to before. So it certainly is a different atmosphere here.
Well, the first couple of scrambles, no one wants to lose those as Sarsfields go to Owen Murphy. Nice stick pass. Myers. He's not going for goal, he's going to drop it in where it's 2-on-2, and it's nicely tidied up by Shane Murphy. Back to Shea Bowen, who's been around a long time, the son of the manager Martin. Martin was the club secretary back in 1992 when Erins Own won their first senior title. That was a title he held for 30 years. Forward it goes from Sam Guilfoyle, and the referee says there was a throw ball and it's a free.
Yeah, he threw it up, and good play by Daniel Carney, who actually got in front of him. I think it was Massey Carroll. They probably hadn't spotted him, threw it up, and then I think the attention of Daniel Carney there, he put the ball back in his hand, and a correct decision by Joe Larkin to award a free. There was a slight bit of afters, which there's nothing in it, but Daniel Carney seems like he's going to have to receive a little bit of attention. I don't think it came in that incident.
Yeah, it did. You know, it was kind of hard to see. You know, I say it was just when they were competing for the ball in the air, and obviously Daniel kind of came out the worst of it. But you know, you kind of saw there in the first few minutes or the first few moments, Aaron Myers got a great ball. Sarge worked it up the left wing, and you know he could have maybe just slipped it inside to Dylan Walsh, but he chose the long ball into Sweeney. And we, you know, if Sarge are doing that, we just need to be a little bit sharper on the brakes inside.
It is Liam Healy who'll take the free. He looks like he's got the distance, or is it just tailing? I don't think distance was the issue, it was accuracy. There is a bit of a breeze there, Fraggy, though, and it kind of got caught in that. Yeah,
you could see it there now. Erins Own are playing with a pretty decent breeze here now in the first half, and you know that did hold up Liam's attempt at the shot there.
Foot race on. Ball into open territory. Still waiting for the first score of this game. He's falling over Owen Murphy after he strikes that, but again couldn't keep it on target.
Yeah, wide each there, Oisín. And look, as we said it before the game, a lot of shadow boxing going on at the moment. Sars are playing with, we said, nearly 4.5 forward line and 2 on the inside line, and the Erins Own are lining up a traditional 6-on-6 in their forward line.
A battle in the sky. Liam Healy tried to win it and couldn't. And Erins Own are showing certainly they're up for the physical battle. Colm Coakley goes long, and the goalkeeper just smartly lets it bounce wide. But that's 2 wasted balls into the forward line, Fraggy. One of them, okay, was a shot, but the other one, just, it was a bit of a nothing ball.
Yeah, it was. They'd worked the ball well up the left wing, and you know, Erins Own probably need to be playing a little bit smarter, playing the ball kind of low in front of their full forward line to give them an opportunity. And I think Owen Murphy will probably be disappointed with his first attempts there with the ball going wide. He never really kind of settled and had a look. You know, there's a bit of off the ball stuff here now going on with Sam Guilfoyle, I think it is, and Daniel Carney.
But you know, I suppose Joe Larkin, the most important, he's going in there and he's just having a word with the lads. Now, looks, lads, we all know it's a local derby. Calm it down a small bit and get on with the game.
Well, as we've said, no one wants to step back. Erins Own winning an awful lot of that ball around the middle. Can they do anything with it? That's the big question. The champions of 92, 06 and 07. Well worked to Robbie O'Flynn. He's such a go-to man for them, and he's off here. Doesn't catch it right, but he had the advantage coming.
He had the advantage into just as well because he mishit his point, but I mean we saw the danger of Robbie O'Flynn there. His massive pace went past Daniel Carney. Now Daniel Carney was flat-footed at the time, so it wasn't a fair foot race 1-on-1. But Robbie O'Flynn certainly showed a fair pair of heels there. But I suppose he'd be very disappointed that he didn't get off his shot correctly.
Owen Murphy, who got 10 points against Newtown Chandram, gets the first point of this game.
Yeah, I think Erins Own will be a lot happier with how they started. You know, that's 2 breaks now from the Sars puck out that Sars have lost. You know, our midfielders seem to be just behind the Erins Own fellas, and that's another 3rd puck out there that Sars are struggling to win.
These scrambles are always so intriguing, always so interesting. The hero Murphy tries to sweep it away, but he's dispossessed brilliantly by Killian Roach. They don't give up on it though, and the ball rebounds into the path of Mossy O'Carroll, the son of a former Limerick hurler. He's making his impact in the Cork Club Championship. Robbie O'Flynn after it again. He's at a very tight angle. He's pursued by Killian Roach, who's lost his hurley, and unlike Cotavan, he'd no one to hand it back to him, and that's a really good score.
Well, that's
it was most Robbie O'Flynn-like, wasn't it?
Absolute magnificent score now, and made up for the missed effort straight before and out on the sideline off his left-hand side. It's noticeable that Erins are really winning an awful lot of the 50-50 balls. They're winning the Sars puck outs, and they're very much on top, I suppose, particularly under their own puck outs, and the ball is coming into their forwards on a regular basis.
Alan Kennedy wanted to get going quickly. He wasn't allowed though.
Well, with that strong breeze, Oisin, you'd want a couple of spare balls down in the Sales puck out, because Alan Kennedy certainly won't be pucking him out quickly.
That's a fantastic catch out of the sky. Then it's lost after Paul Leopold threw himself in there. But here's Shane Murphy. Just wouldn't quite stick to the hand. Might fall the way of his teammate, and does. It's Owen Murphy. That's a 50-50 ball. It's really well won. They've got a free coming, I think, if he can't get the point to me. No, referee says no. Brilliant dispossession by Conor O'Sullivan. Really strong stuff from the cornerback. Leahy clears it. He's looking down the line for Aaron Myers. Myers having a bit of a battle with James O'Carroll. Sarsfields getting the ball. Leopold. Great to see Leopold out there. He's been through so much. Can he get a strike away here? Bit of a blind hand pass. Might still work out. Free incoming. He was trying to gather it, Dylan Walsh. Couldn't quite do so, but Sarsfields have the free anyway.
Yeah, I think Sars will be happy with the free there. Paul Leopold ran through the centre. Probably lacked a small bit of support. Passed the ball to his right there to Dylan Walsh, who went in for a kind of a 50-50 ball. But I think Sars will definitely be delighted, because they haven't started the game that well, and this might give them an opportunity. If Liam Healy can put the ball over the bar just to settle, because they're being beaten at the moment in the half forward and midfield positions, and maybe that'll just settle them now.
Healy slots it over for the 6-time champions. Glen Rovers awaiting the winners. Just wouldn't quite fall for the hero. Stealing away with it now is Donal English. Out it goes to Owen Murphy. Murphy goes long and diagonal. Chasing over to try and get there is Daniel Hogan, but instead it's Myers who meets it. Myers showing a clean pair of heels to James O'Carroll. Can he get the strike away? Can he get the point? And the equaliser, he has. That is a fantastic piece of play from Aaron Myers.
Yeah, fantastic piece of play, but more from I think it was either Daniel Carney or Donal English passed the ball to Owen Murphy, and then a diagonal ball across the field to Myers. Won it in a tight collision with James O'Carroll and took on the man and slapped it over the bar. Great score.
Their manager Brian Roach will be happy with that. The first Cork man with the Heineken Cup medal, won it with Bath back in 1998. Didn't play in the final, but did play in the early rounds. That is very, very risky. Daniel Carney, maybe he's still rattled from that injury he picked up, but he's given away to 65.
Yeah, I think all he needed at that stage was someone just to call time. He was after sweeping across. He did everything right. He was going back towards his own goal. He was looking for a bit of support. It just needed a small bit of communication. Someone to say time, deliver it up the line, because I suppose ultimately the pass went out for a 65, but that's not something you want to be kind of.
It won't be on the under 12 playlist on Saturday morning down in the local GA field. Let's say, Fraggy.
There'll be a lot of fellas giving out watching there now, just saying
this is the one
strike
not
the
to
ball
do.
long. Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you are better off with safety first, and Owen Murphy puts it away. His second. Kennedy straight down the middle, trying to get there as Myers again. That is a fantastic fetch by Myers. He's having some battle with O'Carroll. Can he weave his way through? Getting across was James O'Flynn. Didn't get his clearance away. Myers couldn't sweep it up. It's O'Flynn again. It was met by an Erins own hurley, but they couldn't gather it. Here's Daniel Carney, who's so important for the Sarsfields team, no matter where he plays. English. He's not going for it again. He's dropping it in. Jack O'Connor's not going to get there. He's not going to give up on it though, and Cian O'Connor is trying to see it out over the line, but it just holds up. He's playing a bit of buckaroo there as Jack O'Connor, and the referee gives the free out.
Yeah, I think it was a good decision by the referee. Keane O'Connor covered the ball, got over it. He was being challenged by Jack O'Connor, and I suppose, look, he made an effort to come out and play the ball, and Jack probably would have been better off to peel away from him, leave him, put the ball in his hurley and try and dispossess him. But just going back to a couple of passages beforehand, there was a clearance out from James O'Cal and a great block by Dylan Walsh, number 10, for Erins zone. But in general, it's a very, very good standard at this moment in time, and there's no quarter being asked and given for either team.
Goes over the hand of Killian Roach. He was trying to gather it now onto it as Toomey. Toomey from a tight angle gets the air on it, but not the accuracy.
Yeah, you'd wonder there with the kind of big bodies that Erins own, having the forward line, would he have been better off throwing that across to maybe Owen Murphy on the other side? Keep the ball in play and put the pressure on the Sars' backs. 3
wides already for Erins own.
Yeah, three wides and a couple of them, harmless wides, I suppose, early on. 2 of them that just slipped out wide, and there were absolutely no danger.
Ball goes loose again. There's some great battles going on there. Shane Murphy is dogged and determined, but he's lost out to Jim Sweeney. Sweeney. Well, he hit it wide, but again he had the advantage coming, and he looked kind of angry as he struck that one, following his tangle with Shane Murphy, who did the classic cornerback trick of holding on to his hurley.
Well, Shane Murphy isn't going to let anybody go in there easy, there's no doubt about that, and I suppose it was probably a good free given away, because I think he was nearly the last man back at that stage, and Sweeney had eye for goal, and he probably would have kept going. So it's a tight angle here, and just so that people know, there was a very, very strong swirling breeze here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh this evening. We can see the tricolour is direct going down to Blackrock, and it'll be a tough night for free takers. We saw it earlier on with Liam Healy. He struck one from inside his own 65. It held up in the wind. So, for your second free, it won't be an easy one, but it'll be great if he gets it for his confidence.
It is a bit of a wind tunnel here, isn't it? Great stadium. But Healy.
Yeah.
Is that wide? Wide is
no
the
doubt.
shout, but that was one of the Erins own players.
Great strike there from Liam. That's a good free there now. And notably Aaron Myers, has done really well there now for Sars the last few minutes. He's won some great ball and taken it forward. And he needs to kind of keep continuing winning the ball there for Sars, because he's the only outlet at the moment.
Level for the second time, Sarsfields and Erins own, and Erins own get the line ball.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a free. Is it a line or free? Joe Larkin
is free ball.
It looks like it's going to be a free in, I think, Oisin. There was a loose hurley, I think, there from maybe Donald English, and no better man than Owen Murphy. But again, this is a tough free as well, out on the sideline, 45 yards in from goals. But I suppose in general it's 50-50, but you're right that Aaron Myers is probably the only person at the moment taking on the ball.
4th wide for Erins own.
Yeah, Erins own, I thought Mark said it there beforehand, you think that they would need to be taking every opportunity they get. They are playing with the aid of the strong breeze, and Owen, who's very accurate normally from frees, will be disappointed with that one.
Myers thought he had it. He did, but he couldn't get it away cleanly. English couldn't take it either. Nothing too scientific about what Erins own are doing. It's just go long, but it's really solid goalkeeping by Kennedy. Slots it out to Daniel Carney, who's pressurised, but there was 2 on him, which meant there was 1 free. And they work it down the line again, trying to get there and meet it as Jack O'Connor. We know he can turn and run. Jack O'Connor, if that goes over, it's a mighty point, and it does. His first.
That's a great score. Jack's been doing that all championship, and when you put ball in like that to him, great run across, made the space, took a couple of steps and threw it over the bar. And
a fantastic ball in from Killian Roach as well.
Sarsfields ahead for the first time. Erins own will hope that stat doesn't remain live for very, very long. Ronan Toomey doesn't get it into the hand. Still battling for it now. Now he has it, and he's got O'Callaghan outside, but he pops it over himself. Good score.
Yeah, good effort now, and there was I think there was a goal opportunity there, Oisin, because he had O'Callaghan on his left hand side. He elected to take the score, and I suppose we're very close in the water break. He probably wanted to settle it down after Sars will probably get the last number of scores.
Did he make the right call there? Because as pointed out by Mark, he had O'Callaghan outside. He also, I think, had Owen Murphy close enough to him as well.
Yeah, I think he did. it just wasn't that. I thought the Stars defenders handled it well, but here's Aaron Myers now again after winning another puck out.
Looking for his second point.
That's a great score.
And getting
it's a great
it. This is
score.
warming up nicely, isn't it, Fraggy?
Yeah, it is. I think Mark mentioned it at the start there, that, you know, both teams be kind of feeling each other out. You know, all these guys know each other. You know, a few of them would be good friends with each other as well too. But the game has really opened up there now. You know, it's probably going to be a shame that we're going to get the water break, because it might kill the momentum of the game. But both sides are playing good hurling. You know, probably the wides for Erins Own would be a worry for them.
And Erins Own have reacted to Aaron Myers because Stephen Cronin has gone over to Markham now, and James O'Callaghan has been moved to the other side of the field. And Dylan Walsh.
Yeah, Rosanna O'Callaghan was in giving Shane Murphy some treatment there. She actually lives in Glanmire. It's Sarsfields territory. It's a free out to Sars. You guys have played an awful lot in Sarsfields in your time. The only time I've ever played there was when I was DJing. I did a 21st.
Yeah, I suppose. Look,
it's a great venue. Here's Jack O'Connor. Is there good air on that? Yes, there is. Is there good accuracy on that? No, there isn't. Not enough accuracy anyway.
Now we're going to the water break now.
There's a debate after breaking out as to whether or not I actually did DJ. I did back in 02-03. It is at a water break. Well, gentlemen, who'll be happier so far?
I think I don't know. I don't think either of the teams will be happy, to be honest about it, because you know, I think Erins Own started very well, but they have hit 4 wides, and some of them were, you know, wides that be very disappointed with. And I think Sars have probably only got into it in the last 5 minutes. The first, 10 minutes of the game, it was really Erins Own. So, Erins Own drifted out of it, and Sars have drifted in. But I think both managers will be sent to the lads. There's way more in us now, and the game, I kind of think it was just starting to ignite, and now we're going to the water break.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Mark there. I think Erins Own would be happier from a kind of a performance perspective, but they just haven't made a count on the scoreboard. Sars probably, look, we didn't play that great in the first 10 minutes, but last 5 minutes now we've come into the game because we've started winning ball in the half forward line. We've won a few breaks in around midfield, and that's what you need to do. We're after getting good ball inside there now to Jack O'Connor. He's been out in front. Liam Healy's probably been a bit quiet from play. Daniel Hogan hasn't seen much. James Sweeney, Shane Murphy fouled him once there, right? But you were going to have Shea Bowen here now, land one down on the 21.
Shea Bowen goes long. He was involved in the county final back in the year 2000. He's been around a long time. Here's Coakley trying to gather it into the hand. He does, but he has to make his way away from goal. Gets it off to Mossy O'Carroll. That's an awkward one to nail because he's falling kind of away from goal, but he does it. That is brilliant from Mossy O'Carroll.
Yeah, it's a good team score there because the ball had broken from the puck out. Colin Coakley had won it, and Mossy O'Carroll had come on the overlap, and a great score off his left hand side, and just exactly what Erins Own need to get back into the game because they're just trying to break the stranglehold of Sars previous 5 or 6 minutes.
The puck out strategy seems to be go long, Fraggy.
Yeah, there is a stiff breeze there, so obviously Alan Kennedy is trying to get as much distance on it as he can, but you can see it is kind of holding up, and Erins Own's puck out strategy would normally traditionally be go along as well too. Yeah. So it's really interesting to see how
William
that's kind of working out for both
skipping ball
teams.
Down the line. Now it's won by Liam Healy. Healy slots it between the sticks. That's a lovely finish. He's his third of the game, but he's first from play.
Yeah, and he showed a good pair of heels now, and he had another player outside him if he required him, but he took on the shot himself just inside the 45 and straight over the bar.
Hero Murphy going up for it and using his soccer skills. Still going. Eventually it's gathered by Erins Own, and they try and escape down that wing and do. Really good running. Is that O'Flynn who gets the shot away? I think we might come back for a free anyway. It's a wide, no.
Yeah, he had signal for the free initially. He left play continue, and Robbie O'Flynn had a good shot at goals but went wide, and he's brought it back now for the free, but slightly slow, I think, in maybe blowing the whistle because it looked for us that he left play continue, but he has awarded the free.
Yeah, you can see Robbie O'Flynn's pace there now again. That's twice there now. He's after running through, and that's actually twice he's been fouled, and it has been brought back. Shane Murphy coming off here now from Erins Own. I'd say it's an injury. He's the kind of head down, coming over, looking at his leg. You know, he's a loss now for Erin's own, because you know he was handling James Sweeney in the air well there, and he has good experience in the back line for Erin's own, and a good leader of the team.
Owen Murphy isn't put off by the hum of the engine of the ship that's passing in the background, and just slots that one over, and we're level again.
And from the puck out now, there's only 4 Sars forwards inside, and they're going for Aaron Myers yet again.
Myers again got his hand on it, but just couldn't make it stick, and now James O'Carroll has it. Good take by Owen Murphy.
Yeah, again there, you know, we spoke about Erin's own and the use of their ball. You just wonder, would they be better off throwing that into the full forward position? You know, Craig Leahy, the full back for Stars, was isolated 1-on-1 with his man, and you know, Cian O'Connor would be very dangerous inside there now.
5 wides for Erin's own. They hope to avoid a 6th through this strike by Robbie O'Flynn. It is 6.
Yeah, and I mean, like, with the amount of possession that Erin's own are winning from the puck out, they should definitely be making more use of the possession. And you know, Cian already mentioned about Robbie O'Flynn's pace. Now we're having a great matchup with Owen Murphy here, but I think Robbie O'Flynn may have been better off to take on his man down the outside there.
Stray Hurley, another free for Erin's own, who are on top in the middle.
They're well on top, to be honest. You know, I mean, Stars are struggling to get the ball inside now to Jack O'Connor and Daniel Hogan for the last, 5 minutes since the water break, and Erin's own are just winning the breaks. They're that little bit sharper around the pitch. I suppose the concern for Erin's own is that, you know, it's not reflected on the scoreboard.
But it's a bit unusual that I think that James Sweeney probably isn't under a few of the puck outs. I think Cian.
Oh, he's let it go. Where's it going to fly to? It comes out to Toomey. Toomey already missed a goal chance, couldn't even get the shot away there. Good swarming around by Sarsfields. Here's Carney to bring it away. There's another wasted opportunity for Erin's own. We'll come back to that in a second, because the referee is stopping play again. He wants a word with one of the Erin's own players.
I'd like to see a replay. I think it possibly could have, his hand could have been on the crossbar, to be honest with it, and may have bounced out, but it was an opportunity on the breaking ball for somebody to flick it home. I think what the referee is blowing up for here now is that the hero might have met Denny Carney 22 minutes into the game, but there's never an opportunity to let a fella know you're around.
Conor O'Sullivan, 3-on-3 in or around that 20 metre line. Sweeney got his stick to it. Now it's Daniel Hogan. It just wouldn't quite fall for Myers, but Stars do have the chance, and it's directed away from goal, and it is a 65. It was Jack O'Connor who got the shot away.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Daniel Hogan there getting onto a break, and you know, went past his man. I was kind of blatantly pulled back.
Oh, he was, yeah, absolutely.
You wonder how he's not kind of getting ticked at least anyway for that. You know, again, it was another good goal opportunity that Erin's own. They stopped, you know, I suppose giving away a good free back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honest, you know, you'd be delighted with your cornerback doing it.
It was the first time that we saw a flash of Daniel Hogan, to be honest with it, like, and he flicked the ball first time, and I think he was nearly gone back past him. But it's 23 minutes into the game, and it's the first time that we've seen him. But he showed something there now that everybody, as a Cork supporter, is looking for, that bit of flair that you need on the inside line.
There's a few players like that out there, because Robbie O'Flynn is a guy you'd like to step up for Cork this season as well. And of course, we got confirmation today that there will be an inter-county season, Mark, which is a big boost.
And that's big news now. That's big news for any inter-county player at the moment. I suppose we're in the middle of the club championship at the moment, and there are a number of teams out of the championship. But I think, you know, fellas, this is a big weekend in Cork where you know, we'll be down to the last 4 in all grades, and a lot of the inter-county fellas may be available to the county team from next Tuesday or Wednesday on. So the show goes on, and we will have games in Tullis and Croke Park and Páirc Uí Chaoimh to short in the winter.
And hopefully the crowds will be here as well. Cormac Dooley gets it away. He's looking for Owen Murphy. Owen Murphy does get there and gathers it well on the stick. Can he find Sam Guilfoyle? There was a little bit of tugging going on off the ball. Not sure it went out over the line, but either way it is Sarsfields ball, which will be taken by Daniel Carney. Line ball.
It's ought to notice as well that Sars are moving some of their forwards around. You know, Daniel Hogan, who started at corner forward, is out at wing forward now. James Sweeney is the one player that James Sweeney hasn't been that involved in the team, and like, he has had a fantastic season so far in the group games, but he hasn't got on any ball this evening yet.
Batted into the path of O'Carroll down towards that danger zone, but it's well plucked out of the sky. Really solid stuff from Conor O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan is looking perhaps for the run. Strong defending. I think it was Dooley who got his stick to it. Now it's Robbie O'Flynn. Yeah. Robbie O'Flynn has a look and has a shot, and Robbie O'Flynn makes it all square.
Yeah, another great score from Robbie O'Flynn on the break, and showed a clean pair of heels to Owen Murphy again and struck a great score off his left hand side. And now I suppose Kieran mentioned it's not being reflected on the scoreboard, but Erins Own I think are the dominant team at the moment and probably look like they have about 60% possession.
And here they come straight down the middle. James O'Flynn inside, but it might fall luckily, and it does if he can gather it. Goalkeeper's definitely committed the foul there on O'Callaghan, who hits the side netting, but the free was coming.
Yeah, go on, Mark. I'll let you take this one.
Replay because he was outside.
He was
outside the square just for I suppose we can hear the Erins Own mentors down here roaring for a penalty, but he actually was outside the square. Good call by Joe Larkin and his mentors that it is a correct call, that it's a free in, but it was a great opportunity. And if you had a Ben O'Connor or Patrick Horgan, maybe the man here beside me, Fraggy Murphy, I think he would have picked it first time and rounded the keeper. I think Erins Own that is a let off for Stars big time.
Yeah, it's a major let off for Stars, to be honest. I mean, that should have been a goal for Erins Own. There's no point in saying otherwise. But again, look, like Stars are persistent with the kind of long puck outs, and they're not winning the breaks, especially in when it's coming back out towards midfield. Erins Own are kind of forced onto it. I think Stars will be very happy just to concede a point there, because that should have been a goal for Erins Own.
Well, they lead by 1 when it probably should have been 3. O'Callaghan just couldn't get it into his hand. Myers the target again. Running after it now is Leopold, trying to get away from Hero Murphy. He ran out over the line, and it's a line ball to Erins Own.
Yeah, and again another puck out that Erins Own have won. But if they got a goal before half time now, the cat have really been on.
Owen Murphy dropping it inside.
O'Sheen, really.
Yep.
Because we mentioned before the game, this is an East Cork derby, and it doesn't matter about how hot favourites are. When it comes down to an East Cork derby, anything could happen.
Funnily enough there, Owen Murphy, I think he was going for a point. It ended up being a dropping in ball, and while they have the free, it looked to me like Craig Leahy was holding Cian O'Callaghan in the square, so it could easily have been a penalty.
Yeah, I think Joe Larkin had probably awarded a free in advance, because the Stars player had wrapped up Owen Murphy, so it would have been a big controversial call if he had awarded the penalty at that stage.
But he knew.
Yes,
it was clever defending. Cynical but clever. And sometimes they are the same. Kennedy, but that's plucked out of the sky again by Erins Own. Who's going to win this individual battle? O'Callaghan up against Leahy, wins it this time. O'Callaghan doesn't let him go, and his persistence pays, because Colm Coakley's onto it now. Coakley back out to Guilfoyle. Guilfoyle inside. He's at a tight enough angle. Has the free coming. And Erins Own will have the chance to extend their lead.
Yeah, and probably for the first time, I think, in the course of the game, there's going to be more than a couple of points in it. And I think it's probably it's a fair reflection of the dominance. And barring Aaron Myers, I suppose, in the first 15-20 minutes of the game, he's the only person who's put up any resistance to the Erins Own half back line. And James O'Callaghan's changed wings, so both himself and Stephen Cronin have actually benefited from the change themselves.
Oh, I wonder, was he trying to catch out Alan Kennedy there?
Yeah,
he's got the 65, but
just as well Alan Kennedy was alert. You can never kind of take your eye off Owen Murphy, because he's always looking for the opportunity or the unexpected, and both himself and Kieran have been known to go for goals from 21s before. So good alert play there by Alan. But you'd you kind of just have to say that Erins Own really are dominating the game now since the water break. And SARS, we we're struggling to get the ball inside to our full forward line, where we have been looking threatening. And maybe a couple of just positional switches might benefit at this stage.
Nothing too clever from Owen Murphy this time. He just went first. Daniel Hogan is wrapped up but does get the ball away. Healy will have to go off the stick here and does. That is a fantastic point by Liam Healy.
And it was a score that was very much needed from a SARS perspective. And if he had struck the ball wide, I don't think Joe Larkin would. Joe Larkin had held his hand up for a good while and allowed Liam Healy the advantage. But if it went wide, they'd be very disappointed.
Even though they've been relatively quiet, Myers, Healy and O'Connor have now all got points from play. Here's Daniel Carney. Leopold. He wins the free in. Again, he played a long advantage there.
He did, and but he's been consistent. And that's all you can look for in a referee. You would imagine that's probably SARS were bringing the ball away at that stage, and he would have dropped his hand. But in fairness, he's been doing the same for Erins Own. He has been allowing the full 5 seconds and probably a little bit more.
And that is the major thing that all players want in management, is just consistency. And I suppose the other thing is he's actually trying to leave the game develop, and I think we all want to see the game developing. I suppose in the pandemic that we're in at the moment, we're watching an awful lot more games on television on a regular basis, and you can see the physicality in other counties and the way the referees are allowing the advantage to be played, and maybe in some situations they're not even awarding frees, but players get used of hard hits and physical and an aggressive hurling, and I think that's more to the point of where the referees in Cork at this moment in time are probably going towards that a bit more.
Well, they don't take the opportunity there. Their last was only their third since the water break. They'd gone 7 minutes before that, and they have to wait a little longer again now.
But that free was a long ways out, Oisin. It was between the 265s, and it was into that breeze as well that we mentioned earlier on. And it is like we can see it now that the breeze is freshening up from the poles on the sideline and stuff like that. So it was a tough ask of Liam Healy there.
Paul Leopold fixing the helmet there.
And again,
good to get some running repairs.
Good play, good refereeing as well. Like the player has lost his helmet, and that's the rules that have to be applied when a helmet comes after the game has to be stopped. And it's just it's breaking momentum, I suppose. And I'd say SARS at the moment will be hoping to get to half time now, and I'd say Brian Roach will be meant to get his players into a huddle.
Yeah, I think SARS, even if they could get it back to 1 point at half time, they'd be delighted. So, SARS haven't played to their kind of potential in the first half, and Erins Own would be delighted with the way they're going. The worry for them would be the whys that they've had, but SARS, they need to kind of regroup there now at half time and have a good chat with themselves and see can they figure a way out of this.
Well, it is half time, and it is Erins Own who lead by 2 points. 10 points to 8 is the score in this Co-op Superstores Cork Senior Hurling Championship quarter final. Glen Rovers awaiting the winners in the semi-finals. At this stage, Mark, it's kind of hard to tell who might make the last four.
Yeah, well, it's for, I suppose, for a lot of out there tonight. I suppose the expectation is that SARS would have been very, very strong favourites coming into this game. They have a very good scoring record. 321 has been their average scoring so far. So the fact that they've only got 10 points on the scoreboard at the moment. I know they're turning to play with some bit of a fresh breeze that's there, but that is a true reflection of where they are at this moment in time. And it's just basically they can't get the ball past the Erins Own half back line at the moment. And the likes of Jack O'Connor, even though he's done well, he looks dangerous anytime he gets the ball. But there's no ball going into him on a regular basis, and that's why Daniel Hogan was brought out the field as well to see could the SARS inside line, could they get ball on him.
And Fraggy, for Erin's own, it's been a case of a lot of missed goal chances. They could live to regret that.
Yeah, certainly. They have had great goal chances. Obviously, the one where Alan Kennedy fouled and brought down the Erin's own attacker, was the most obvious one. But even you could see it up here. I suppose it's the advantage of being up here in the upper tier is you can see they've created one or two overlaps. Mark, you were pointing out there one or two where if they brought the ball on, a fraction more and pass the ball to hand, there was good goal opportunities there for Erin's own. I think Sars, even though they haven't really started, to be honest, they haven't gone motoring. They'll be happy to be only 2 points down because they should be a lot more down, if the truth be told. And as Mark said, we can't get the ball into the full forward line where we do look dangerous if we do get quality ball into them.
Okay, we'll talk more in just a second, but I can tell you at half-time in the Cork Senior Hurling Championship quarter-final, it is Erins Own who leads Sarsfields by 10 points to 8. If Erins Own were to win this game, it would be seen as not a giant shock, but certainly a big enough one. We'll have more chat about the first half that was and the second half to come in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to Porky Quay for the Co-op Superstores Cork Senior Hurling Championship quarter-final between Sarsfields and Erins Own, and it's Erins Own who lead by 2 points. And Kieran Fraggy Murphy, they are very much worthy of their lead at the break.
They are, to be honest, and as we were saying earlier, they should be a few more points up. If the truth be told, if you were sitting down, watching it there at home, you'd be thinking that Erins Own should really have kind of 4 or 5 points up on Sars at the moment. We were just commenting there earlier, myself and Mark, that Sars are just struggling to win their puck out a small bit. They had some good success when they went down on top of Aaron Myers, but it just seemed to change it up a small bit, and they were going long down the middle, and with that wind there was a few times there where it was just held up in the wind, and actually the Erin's Own midfielders were breaking up the play and they were able to drive forward from there. I suppose, Mark, it's really the last thing you want from an attacking perspective, your ball landing on the top of the midfielders, because it just means that you're going backwards towards your own goal, and it gives the opposition great momentum going forward.
Yeah, but and as well as that, it's just that I suppose that Erins Own have really taken the physical fight to Sars, and we'd mentioned before the game that you really, I suppose, Aaron Myers is a tall player and James Sweeney is a tall player, but the rest of the Sars forwards wouldn't be known for their height, and they're struggling this evening. And Erins Own they're a very, very seasoned team, and they have no real massive stars inside in their team. Sars have been involved in minor county finals the last number of years, and they're producing fantastic players. But tonight they're not using the ball, they're not using the wings, and I know now they're turning to play with the breeze in the second half, but unless they start to deliver the ball fast out wide, they have to probably go on the ground. I would say go to the deck with a lot of the ball, because James Sweeney hasn't been involved. But if they are going to get a success here tonight,
is that an easy fix though?
Well, you have to, they have 8 points scored at half time for a team that has scored an average of 321. I think the management will be really concerned with that. Yeah. This is a knockout championship match. Going into the match, they're hot favourites. They'll be really, really disappointed that they're in the position that they're in now. So quick fix. They have to change something up, Oisin, because if they don't, the Erins Own are totally dominant all over the field. They have 6 wides to 3 wides in the first half. They probably should be 4 or 5, and they've had 2 goal opportunities that they haven't taken. So, I'd be concerned if I was inside in the Sars dressing room, but no better players than the Sars players to work themselves back into this game and get a result. But it's all aboard at this moment in time now.
Yeah, how easy is it to just control alt delete if you're Sars, Fraggy?
Yeah, well, I looked at, they've tried there now to make a change. It looks like Dylan Walsh is after coming off, and Ben Graham has come on. Ben was starting for intermediates earlier in the year. He's a good ball winner, very aggressive, and a good direct runner. Look, I suppose it's half time. We're just going into the start of the second half. The first half is gone. Sars will be just looking to kind of reset and say, right lads, we haven't played. We haven't got out of even first gear, if the truth be told, and we're only 2 points down. I think you'll be able to see in the second half, the puck outs travelling that little bit longer, that they will be reaching kind of James Sweeney, and the ball should be breaking in around there. And then you have Daniel Hogan, Jack O'Connor, Liam Healy. They'll be looking to get onto the breaks, but certainly Sars need to work up the work rate right throughout the pitch, because the first half there they'll be very disappointed with their own performances. Mark, they just probably look flat, didn't they?
They look very, and the only ball that came from the half back line was Killian Roach struck a ball into Jack O'Connor. He was out first, but it's actually the lack of supply of ball coming from the Sars half back line and midfield that's killing their forwards. So there's a couple of things to be fixed. They need to win their own puck outs, win their own half forward line, need to win their own ball, and the Sars half back line midfield supply that inside line with better possession.
This is a position that Erins Own are not used to this season in the Championship. They generally have to fall far behind before they wake up, so this is new territory for them as well.
They're in a great position, Oisín, at this moment, because they're normally 7.
Well, are they though? Because don't they normally prefer to be behind?
No, they're in a great position. But the biggest question is, can they keep it going now? That is and that's what Martin Bowen and his selectors will be saying, lads, we told you coming into this game that we had every opportunity of winning this game. We're now in a winning position. You know that your second half performance have been better with the previous games, but can they put 2 halves together now, is what Martin Bowen will be in the back of his mind will be saying. And like any team that's trained and involved with Martin Bowen, they'll give it everything.
And Donal O'Rourke involved there as well, of course. Waterford's former Camogie coach, a Cappoquin man, Cappoquin in West Waterford.
And
Jason Malumbi from
Sars goalie as well too. Oisín, he played in goal with Sars for a couple of years.
Yeah, so you know them well. So the first scramble of the second half. Can we read anything into this? Trying to shovel it into the hand is Colm Coakley, and it is a free. And it will be an Erins Own free.
And that is exactly what Erins Own will be looking for immediately. And it's all about momentum as well, Oisín. And I think Sars have lacked that tonight. All the momentum is with Erins Own. Now it's still very early, and obviously there's plenty of time left for Sars to get back into this game. But all the small little battles, Kieran, are being won by Erins Own.
Yeah, certainly, Mark. Erins Own are coming up with any kind of dirty ball that's there at the moment. That would have been a big free now for Erins Own. Start of the second half, they would have been looking to try and put kind of 3-4 points on Sars, and it's another wide for them.
William Carney went long. It's collected well by Ben Graham. He's doing what you said he'd do. He's after winning ball, but his strike isn't great. But he wasn't let go there. I mean, I know he won the ball. I know he got and turned his man, but he still wasn't given the time and space to take a free shot.
Yeah, you'd be delighted to see him turn and go at his man. I think Jack O'Connor had peeled away just a little bit more cuteness, hand pass out to him. It would have been a score. He's been out with the last few weeks with his ankle, but that's a good start for him now.
Here's Sarsfields' own Murphy. Runs out of room, but gets the line ball for his team.
Yeah, but he won a great puck out as well, and it was well contested with Robbie O'Flynn, but Robbie O'Flynn chased him down and he flicked the ball off his shoulder. So very good play by both players.
That's a lovely line ball. And collected on the break. Good work from Daniel Hogan, who puts it inside. Now can they finish it off? Sweeney. Again, he was crowded out. Cian O'Connor gathers. Rides a bit of a gauntlet. That's dangerous. He gets away with it. O'Carroll shovels it back. Well, you have to be very confident in your hurling ability to do what they just did under such pressure in that area of the pitch. And eventually it's farmed away by Dara Toomey. Sarsfields will send it back from where it came. Daniel Carney going long. Looks like a bit of a waste of a ball.
That's very disappointing for a very experienced player like Daniel Carney to strike that ball wide, particularly when Ben Martin was all on his own out on the Ben Graham was all out on the north stand side, all on his own. Now Daniel Carney has done that umpteen times for Sars and for Cork in the past, but it just shows you the pressure that's under the players at this moment in time to make a decision like that. A bit surprising, I think, Fraggy.
Yeah, as you said, Ben Graham was out, and all on his own in front of the Sars dugout. It just would have been a nice ball play out to him. He would have a free shot from kind of 50 yards out. And it's just, I kind of just almost typify Sars' performance so far today. Exactly, that little bit of kind of just sharpness or something. It just, it just seems to be missing a small bit there at the moment. But they have shown some signs, like Daniel Hogan won a good ball there now, Ben Graham won a good ball.
On another night, James Sweeney would probably went in on the end line and maybe struck it off his right hand side. He elected to come back into traffic, and the Erins zone full back line tied him up.
Yeah, they defended really well. You're spot on, Mark. He should have went down on his right hand side. He went back in, and it just gave Erins zone the opportunity to block it.
Well won by Aaron Myers. That's well taken. The pressure being poured on Sweeney. He wins it back, much to his credit. Now he's got a man in front. If he can find him, he can't. Perfectly won. Here's Myers having received from Owen Murphy. Myers is going to go for this. His team need a boost, and unfortunately a sixth wide means he can't provide it.
Yeah, and it's a third wide of the second half as well there, but it's noticeable that Owen Murphy has turned it into the game for Sars. They are getting a bit more impetus in the game, and they are creating the opportunities. James Sweeney's getting on a bit ball, but he's just not converting it at the moment.
Daniel Carney was trying to get there, but he was beaten to it. Sam Guilfoyle. Daniel Carney. He's a good distributor. That's really well defended by Cormac Dooley. Toomey. Carroll is beaten to it there by Graham. Graham goes to ground. Advantage is coming. He might need it. Here's Healy. An advantage went on for too long, so they get nothing.
Yeah, but Kieran just mentioned a while ago about decision making, and it typifies the Sars' performance at the moment. Everything had opened up for him. He struck it. I'd say he was thinking maybe of goal, Kieran, I suppose.
Yeah, he was definitely going for goal. He was just a little bit far out. Shea Bowen's a good keeper. You do well to beat him from there. And, Sars just need a score in the second half. Well, both teams need a score, but Sars are having a period of dominance here now and need a score.
Their half-back line is dominating, but they're not doing anything with it. Here's Cormac Dooley, as in Sars in general. The hero Murphy, who's played it in goal in the past for Erins zone. Now they get a break for Murphy. Owen Murphy this time, and he slots it over. Well, he has been prominent on the scoreboard all night, but that's his first from play. It's the first score of the second half as well. 11-8.
And it's
Erins zone lead.
A breaking ball, a high ball that came in broken down, and Owen Murphy onto it quick. One touch and flicked it over the bar.
Colm Coakley. James O'Flynn. Well defended by Craig Leahy. Now Kennedy. Roach steps inside Coakley. Paul Leopold. Can Leopold bloom? Yes, he can.
Yeah, it's a magnificent score. Absolutely super score off his left hand side from the middle of the field. Owen Murphy had called for the ball as well. He'd looked up and he felt confident enough to take it on. That's a big lift for Sars.
4 consecutive wides before that. They really needed it, but they've got defending to do, and it's Robbie O'Flynn, the last man you'd want running at you, and that is why.
Great score by Robbie O'Flynn, and that's Robbie O'Flynn's third point in the game, third from play, and he certainly, if he gets ball in space with a bit of room, no better man to punish you.
Kennedy. Coakley's trying to sweep it up under pressure from Sweeney. He's got the free out.
Yeah, James Sweeney, he's up for the ball. He's contested with it, and the ball is breaking out in front of him. And you had 2 Erins zone fellas on the break there. There was no Sars there. James, saw free, giving away, flicked to Hurley as the Erins zone fella was going to pick the ball. Just Sars need to up the work rate.
Murphy going for his 8th of the game. It's going to drop.
Yeah, and we've seen that in the first half with Liam Healy as well. Exactly the same position. He's first free just inside his own 65, and just the accuracy. But there's a very, very strong breeze into the free taker's face.
O'Flynn. He's like a gazelle when he takes off. O'Flynn off the stick while going away from goal. Hits it wide.
Yeah, a score that he did, or a wide that he didn't need to do Oisín. He probably would have been better off to take it on a little bit and make it secure.
William Carney goes long. It breaks for Healy. Missed a chance earlier on. He isn't going to take it on now. It falls for Hogan. And it's the goal that Sarsfields desperately needed.
Yeah, a bit of class there from Liam Healy. Came around on the loop out in front, or out and around. Gave a ball across, and it looked like the opportunity was almost gone, because then he kind of he miscontrolled it. Had the presence of mind to hit it on, pulling the ground. You're inside the 13. Ball is kind of just bobbling around. Sometimes you just need to take that chance, that opportunity, and pull in the ground, which he did, and that's a badly needed goal now for Sars.
It was instinctive as well, because we often see it. Hurlers are obsessed with getting the ball back into their hand, but he just hit it on the half volley.
He did, but I give great credit to Liam Healy, because Sars haven't had a great night at the office so far this evening, and as Frankie said, he peeled off, took on the man, but he saw there was a number of Sars players out of the corner of his eye and passed it across, and Daniel Hogan whipped it into the net on the second time of asking.
Tygo Murphy is in, and Donal English is off. And Sarsfields win a free. They've got a bit of momentum behind them now.
Yeah, the difference from the Erins own puck outs is Sars are winning the breaks. They have bodies there. For the Sars puck outs, we're going up very isolated. James Sweeney is going up, and we don't have enough bodies around there in support. But certainly Sars, are starting to have a bit of joy from the Erins own puck outs, especially when they're not winning it clean.
And the funny thing is that Sars have an opportunity here to go a point up, and a couple of minutes ago they were 3 points down.
Yeah, and you can see the difference there now between Liam's frees in the first half and the second half. That one, he was comfortably putting that over the bar. It probably travelled maybe 10 or 15 yards over the bar, whereas in the first half, when he was striking into that breeze, and you see it there with Owen Murphy as well too, they were only just barely making the goal line, so that does give an indication of the strength of the wind that's there tonight.
And speaking of hard dogs for or old dogs for the hard road, Sean Kelly has just come in for Erin's own.
Yeah, Sean has come in, and
I didn't quite catch who went off, because it was
Keane O'Callaghan has actually gone off here, the corner forward.
Oh, here we go. There you go.
This will be a test of Erin's own now to get back into this game, because they had a line share of the possession all along, and they led comfortably, and it's the first time that they've been led in the game so far. So
that's a great strike though by Owen Murphy. Brilliant response. Well, Sars, as you say, had gone ahead not long before that. It was their first time ahead since the 24th minute. Of course, they're still ahead, but now only by one. That was a really good response though, Fraggy, by Owen Murphy.
Yeah, it was a great score. That just, he shows his accuracy and his ability. He did a very tight angle, but slotted it over. He's been doing that for years for Erins on, and it's a good score, good response to the goal from Sars.
Good clash of the ash there, falls to Sweeney. Just didn't catch it right, couldn't keep it on frame.
No, but Sars, it's noticeable that Sars are getting on a lot more of the breaking ball now, and in particular Owen Murphy at wing back is getting on a lot of ball.
Who's going to be able to sweep it up there? Graham was in, making a nuisance of himself. Now it's into the hand of Tygo Murphy. Just enough of a bounce there from Cian O'Connor, and then he got to it on the second attempt as well, which he absolutely had to do. Alan Bone, who's wearing 27, he's down to 17 in the programme, but he is wearing 27. Chasing after it now, Owen Murphy. It's swept away by Massey O'Carroll. You can just see there is a bit more about Sarsfields in this second half, but of course that does not mean that Erin's own are going to take a step back as Owen Murphy tries to escape. No foul, says the ref.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
He tries to take the shot, Sean
we
Kelly.
give a free there when he didn't give one to Owen Murphy coming out.
I mean, the play had gone on by 3 or 4 seconds when he had awarded the free. You know, it looked like a free, and there was part of me was saying, I'm delighted that he didn't award the free, because the Erins own man was in possession and he was trying to leave the game develop, but he didn't put up his hand, and then Sar's player lost it, and Erins own were going into possession, and he gave a free. A bit surprising though.
Good day for Sarsfields, by the way, if they can manage to win this. Of course, they progress to the Intermediate A Championship semi-finals by beating Clodove 21 points to 16.
It was a great result for Sars, and a great result for the club when you think that your premier senior team is playing in a quarter-final of the county, that their intermediate team is playing, and the fact that you probably have a good number of these players that maybe togged out today would maybe be togging out again this evening. That, it's fantastic, but a bit surprising that the match wasn't played last night at the same time though.
Yeah, very unusual. Alright, this game was originally fixed for the Friday night, and when the game is switched, I suppose most people expected the intermediate game to be switched as well, but it didn't, and the intermediates had a good win today, and we're looking for the seniors now to do something.
Well, the city end is proving really, really difficult for free takers this evening. We saw Sars struggle in the first half. We're seeing Erins own struggle in the second. Bone gets it going quickly. He's trying to escape through the middle there. Runs into a bit of trouble though. Referee blows it up. What's his decision?
I think it's going to be a clash ball. Kieran Murphy, he won a great ball. He was going forward there. Joe Larkin has been leaving it go. He's talking to Tygog Murphy there now. That's from an earlier incident there when Tygog was running forward and he felt that he was tripped right in front of Joe Larkin, and he's just having a discussion with him there now and just letting him know who the boss is. But I think this is going to be a clash ball here now.
It looks as though Erins own are going to. Cathal Linehan is warming up here on the sideline as well now, and it shows probably that Erins own is trying to freshen up and get fresh legs into the game.
Sarsfields showing fresh legs to get out of defence. That's a wonderful piece of skill, and Conor O'Sullivan getting away from Hero Murphy. Jack O'Connor hits it wide.
Yeah, great pressure by Kieran Hero Murphy, 37 years of age, playing wing forward, taking on Conor O'Sullivan down the sideline, and then putting pressure on Jack O'Connor to make him and push him out to hit the score wide off the left hand side.
Cathal Linehan coming in.
Yeah,
Sam Guilfoyle going off, is it?
I was just about to say we're just coming up to the water break there. I was kind of surprised he hadn't blown for it, but it's a game that's kind of it's starting and then it's kind of stopping. First half it was just getting going, and the water break. The second half, certainly Sars have upped their performance levels a small bit, but Erins own reacted very well to the goal that went in. Great score from Owen Murphy, and while you'd have to say the game hasn't fully ignited yet, but it's still a good contest, and
well, when you consider people thought it was going to be one-way traffic, for it to be as level and as even as it is, the neutral certainly is getting more than their money's worth. Well, this is being broadcast for free, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely, and I think the big thing is that the Erins own, the community, the club themselves will be thrilled with their players and the performance that they're putting up, because Sars will be one of the favourites to win the county. They're raging hot favourites coming tonight, and their form in the group stages has been magnificent. Beating Midland, beating Douglas, who would have been two of the fancy teams to win the county as well. So the Erins own people will be thrilled with the performance. But the big thing now is 15 minutes left here now, and there's a great chance of actually getting to the county semi-final against Glen Rovers. I think from a Sars perspective, they've actually realised it in the first period of the second half how serious this is, and I think whatever Brian Roach and his selectors said has had an effect in the team. But the scores are still level, Oisín, and anything could happen at this stage. You couldn't pick the winner at the moment.
Brian Roach, well known in coaching circles, not just in hurling, has trained UCC in the Collingwood Cup as well. Here's Shea Bowen.
Yeah, James O'Flynn has gone back full back now, and James Sweeney and O'Callaghan, Cian O'Connor, has come out centre forward or centre back because Jack O'Connor has come out centre forward for Stars. Big decision here now as the Robbie O'Flynn looks as though he's gone out over the sideline.
I think it's a free into Erins' own. Joel Arkin is saying that Stars player flicked across him. The Stars line over are saying that Robbie maybe touched the ball on the ground. Hard to see from here, but this is a long range free there now into this breeze, and it's certainly one that Erins' own will be looking to score to try and get that point ahead. And it's just inside the Stars half.
It's going to drop. Kennedy had to show a safe hand there and did. Now, was he able to slip it away to his teammate? He was. Killian Roach, who kind of disappeared for a second. Casual enough by William Carney, but cool and casual because he was able to get it to Conor O'Sullivan. Neat turn by Daniel Hogan. Bumped off it by James O'Flynn. Hogan hasn't given up on it. Has he fouled? Referee says no. O'Flynn didn't give up on it then. He's smothered. O'Flynn again. There's some great battles going on around the pitch. That
was fantastic there, because on a number of occasions both players looked like they had it and the other player stayed in the tackle and overturned them.
Myers, he's going for that, and he's got the breeze behind him. But
just in that occasion, you James Sweeney all on his own, the edge of the square. He was looking for it, hand up. You just wonder when you're inside your own half, would you just play the percentage ball and put it in the edge of the square when you have a 7 fella inside there and let him earn possession.
Has to end tonight, remember. That's a fantastic catch by Hero Murphy. Slipped it off to Coakley. There's no room out there. Everyone's kind of bunching around and fighting for it. Sean Kelly. Really, really good take. Can he finish it? It's Cathal Lenihan. When you're a sub, you have to make an impact, and that's exactly what Lenihan has just done.
That's a fantastic score. His first play of the game. He started the previous rounds for Erins' own, but he has got a great score for his team there now, and has broken the momentum because Erins' own hadn't scored for a while. They missed a number of frees, but again we'd mentioned that the conditions are very difficult for free takers tonight. But a fantastic score from Cathal Lenihan.
Yeah, and they're first since the 12th minute of the second half. That's a really good catch by O'Connor at the back. Trying to kick it forward is Jack O'Connor. Myers in battling for it. Might fall for Leopold. No, it doesn't. Myers again. Healy now. Healy gets a bit of time, gets a bit of space. Pursued well by O'Carroll. Healy still fighting for it. It's 1 against 2 there, and it's the 2 that wins it, and it's James O'Flynn.
It was a great tackle by James O'Carroll to get back, because Healy had shown a clean pair of heels. Looked like he was going to take an easy point, but Carroll came out and over to get in a great hook.
Daniel Carney to Tygo Murphy. I was about to say good pass considering the pressure he was under, but Erins won't get it back. Here's Hero Murphy trying to get away from Killian Roach. Murphy goes long, but it's 1-on-3 against his team. However, they've beaten the odds all night, so why not now? Lenihan just couldn't quite get it into the hand.
Yeah,
it's tied up by Carney, but we'll have a stoppage.
Yeah, there was a nasty kind of just collision there, just purely accidental. Lenihan was going through, and a great flick there by the Stars player who's on the ground, and that was a heavy collision there now. And
Conor O'Sullivan, I think.
Yeah, Conor O'Sullivan.
Probably a blood sub, I would say. He's probably cut.
Yeah.
Judging by the reaction of the Stars players, they were looking for somebody to come in. So
yeah,
and he'll be a big loss.
He would.
If depending how bad he is and how long if he's gone for the rest of the game, or whether they'll be able to patch him up.
Yeah, well, Dr. Gufferty and Paddy Quinlan, the physio, who also works at Munster, by the way. So obviously tonight is a free night for him because they didn't make the Pro 14 final.
But isn't it great to see that there's people living in the community that you can have that will give of their time as volunteers and stuff for that. So that's magnificent to have that kind of a medic and a backup for you.
It's a probing puck out, but it misses its intended targets, and Cian O'Connor sweeps it up. It's intercepted by Sweeney. Sweeney is blocked down. It'll be interesting to see afterwards the statistics on hooks, blocks and tackles.
It's very high tonight, I think, and from both teams has been excellent.
I thought I was going to be able to say that's excellent from O'Connor, but it went just wide. Not a bad attempt though from that angle. Hero Murphy. That's a fantastic block. Getting back there to get the hurley in was Hackett. Roach has to go off the stick or use the hand as he did, and it's intercepted again. What are the options? Coakley. Alan Bone is chasing after it, can't get his stick to it, swept up by Kennedy. Bone is wearing 28 as opposed to 27, which is what I said earlier on. That's another fantastic hook and block by Owen Murphy. It's like those tackle drills you do at training where you block, block, block.
Never give up, keep chasing, keep following the ball, and we have a little bit of an incident. Has a man gone out over the stanchion here now. Owen Murphy, has his namesake, has put him out over, and he hasn't reappeared from the co-op superstar sign. So I don't know what the umpire and the linesman are going to do here, but there's a touch of Eric Cantona about that one.
Yeah. I think in fairness to Joe Larkley, he's just saying, play on lads, just get the ball. Get it back in play and take it from there. But Sars just tried to take the quick sideline and went back over the sideline. To give Erins own possession here now, and you're just putting your full back line under more pressure than you really need to. And Sars again, long period without a score, point behind. Need to find a score, need to manufacture it somehow.
Lenihan takes it. Can he get a shot away? Does well to get into open space. Has won the free. That is wonderful stuff from Lenihan, who's actually pretty irritated because he'd scored from play, but it's a free in front of the post, and I know it's difficult tonight, but they'll still pop it over from there.
I tell you now, if you're the Sars mentors, if you're the on-zone mentors, you're quite happy to see that the game has been killed for another maybe 30 seconds here. The ball, I think, did go over the bar off of Cathal Lenihan off his left-hand side, but it was clear that Joe Larkin had actually awarded a free, and just in case the ball went wide, I'd say he blew up to allow it because maybe the time was running out. But again, you're 30 seconds, maybe 40 seconds last here, and this one is going to the wire. Oisin, I don't think there's going to be any team pop up for 2 or 3 goals here at this stage. This is all aboard now, and points. Every ball is crucial now here in terms of both teams not to concede easy frees, make the right decisions. Don't be hitting the ball aimlessly wide. That is critical here now coming down the stretch for both teams.
Fraggy, this is a tough place to be for Sarsfields. They're behind in a game they were supposed to, in theory, win by a good few points. Can they reduce the arrears here? Squeezed out to
Cian Darcy's just after coming on here now. Yeah, a great impact there. James Sweeney's actually after going off. They took James Sweeney off and Darcy came on, but you're the 2 subs there now, Luke Hackett and Cian Darcy making a good impact there. Luke winning the great ball and popping it out to Cian on the loop, and that's a good score for him, for a sub who's just come on. Tough opportunity out in the wing, but in fairness to him, he took his chance. And you've Conor O'Sullivan there now returning from the blood sub, and you've James Linehan there who's caused Sars a good bit of trouble since he's come on. He's won a lot of possession, and he's out here under the stand again looking for it, but Shea goes down the centre.
Darcy is wearing 22. It's Dylan Walsh in the programme, but here is James O'Flynn. O'Flynn ploughing through the middle and losing it, and it's Daniel Carney. William Carney, 2-on-2 in or around the edge of the square. Who's it going to fall to? Hackett is trying to make it his. He has. He's hooked. Might come to his teammate. It's a good save from Bone off the stick of Healy. Healy hasn't given up on it though. Healy's still trying to get some time, get some space, get some freedom. Pops it off to Cian Darcy. Sweeps it out to Ben Graham. They keep it alive. Can they reduce the arrears?
Great ball.
Yes, they can. That's a really good score.
Straight to hand with pace, and that gave Paul Leopold the opportunity to take the stride. If that ball went to ground, Paul Leopold was smothered. That was a great ball across. Good goal. Well, kind of half a goal chance there for Sars. Good defending from Erins zone. Good save as well too from Shea Bone. But this game is starting to come alive.
Fantastic refereeing by Joe Larkin. He left it develop. There was collisions coming in left, right, and centre, and he left it develop. Healy looked like he may have got a free. The ball funneled around, and as Fraggy said, out to Ben Martin. Great ball into Leopold, and you're right, didn't hit straight to hand. Gave the chance to Leopold to nail it.
Well, this is going right down to the wire. Daniel Carney has a look up. Again, it's level numbers wise in around the kind of arc of the D, but coming away with it is Cormac Dooley. Lenehan, bit of a heavy touch, does gather it though on the second attempt. Inside it goes, and it's a driven shot by Sean Kelly, which drops wide.
Yeah, and Cathal Linehan had done very well again. Made the right decision to give it to Sean Kelly. Sean probably shot maybe a bit quick over his shoulder. There was nothing in it. It could have went over quite as easy.
Can Darcy do it again? Oh, it's swatted away from him by James O'Flynn.
The game's so tight now. Everything matters. You know, the smallest of flicks, the smallest of touches. You know, Erins only need to reset here now because Sars will probably funnel the ball around in a quick one.
Myers tried to get onto it, but the referee.
Yeah, I don't like. You'd have to say that there's been he's let a couple of those go already today. He's saying that the Sars players were too close.
I think it was Aaron Myers he'd come from 30 or 40 yards away to actually get that ball there, so that was a bit surprising now.
I don't know. Joe Larkin,
but in the overall context, Kieran, Joe Larkin has had a good game.
He's been very good.
Shea Bowen goes long down the wing. Lenehan put his hand out but couldn't make it stick. Lenehan does win it, and then he's dispossessed. The next score could be the winner, Paul Leopold. Healy let it off. Maybe that was the wrong choice. O'Carroll again. O'Connor has options. Kind of hits it blindly. Neat turn by Graham. Hero Murphy stuck to him. Graham pops it out for Roach. Roach inside, but no one is there. Just gets away from O'Flynn though. And again, good defending. Out to Dooley. Dooley couldn't take it cleanly. Players are tired at this stage. Darcy's fighting for it. Healy's in there as well. Healy going for it. Looked to me like he was tugged back. Referee says nothing doing. Dooley. Good hand pass. Right down the throat of the Sarsfields defence. Can they deal with it? Trying to shovel it up was Owen Murphy. Referee gives the free in. And he was nearly slow in telling us what way that free was going, as if to add to the drama.
Yeah, there was a couple of clashes of hurleys, and I suppose it's a tight decision now so late in the game. But in the overall context, the last 5 or 6 minutes play has been magnificent. I just want to pick out one player in particular. I think young O'Connor, Keane O'Connor, cornerback for Erins Own, has been outstanding all through the game tonight. He hasn't put a foot wrong. Maybe his clearances haven't been massive, but he has been everywhere where the ball has been when he's landing on the 50-50 balls, and he's hoovering up everything on the ground.
Owen Murphy has missed a few in the second half, but when it's really needed, when the pressure's on, he stuck that one over. He has given his team the lead. Hero Murphy. Mark Collins is in for Erins Own. 3 minutes additional time. Leopold goes long. Only one between them. O'Connor having a little bit of a set to with Jack O'Connor, Keane and Jack. One easily there by Tygog Murphy. Leopold lets fly. He's looking for the equaliser. And it's wide.
Yeah, and you know, in tight games like this now, you don't want to be giving the Shea Bones a free puck out, but you know, Shea will be more than delighted to slow this game down here now. And the key thing here now for Erins Own is to try and get Robbie O'Flynn in the ball. Erins Own need to get him under the puck out here now.
So vital for Sars to win the next possession if they possibly can. Players from both teams bravely going up for it. It's Sars who win it, but can they do anything meaningful with it? Dooley loses out to Darcy. Darcy looking for Healy. Will Healy go for goal? Healy's in. Healy hooked brilliantly. Might get a second attempt at it. He does, but can only find O'Connor. That could be the winning and losing of this game. He's lost his stick.
Caught the van. Caught the van.
Flynn. Brilliant. Across the van. And he hasn't quite won the line ball on the first attempt. He does on the second.
And it was his second. It was the second hurley that actually went into him there in that passage of play. But what a hook on Liam Healy by James O'Flynn. It may be the winning of the game here tonight in a very tight game. He cracked his man. Liam Healy was odds on to score the goal, and Flynn got in the hook. And you mentioned earlier on that the hooks and blocks tonight have been magnificent.
Caught the van. You've reinvented the game.
Reinvented
it's a new tactic.
The hurley pass on the sideline, yes.
The hurley pass, it's a new skill. Hurley carriers have never been more important. Now, Dara Toomey. It's intercepted by a man in a white jersey rather than a man in the red. It's Paul Leopold, who has been excellent tonight. Tygo Murphy now there for Sars, but Hero Murphy is in to win it back for Erin's own. Now it's Jack O'Connor. It's not where he'd want to get it though. Erin's own will be happy enough to keep them boxed in. A big shoulder on Cormac Dooley goes out over the line. It is the line ball to Sarsfields, who are running out of time. At the moment they're running out of the championship.
Last chance saloon here.
Yeah,
you're looking for a good sideline. Possession here is going to be vital.
Daniel Carney into the open spaces. Who's it going to fall to? It falls to a red jersey, that of Dara Toomey. It's all over, and Erin's own are into the semi-finals. It might not be quite an earthquake of a shock, but certainly it's a tremor.
It's a big shock. It is a huge shock, and and would have to say in the overall context of things that Erin's own have deserved it. From the first minute they took the game to Sarsfields, and they probably deserved their win overall, I would say.
Yeah, you couldn't say, if you were to look at the two teams and you just say, who actually implemented their kind of game plan, you'd have to say that Erin's own would be much happier with how they played. Sars had a couple of opportunities there, just didn't take them at the end, but a lot of it was just down to Erin's own's great defending, and it was summed up there by the hook on Liam Healy at the end. And at the end of the day, that was the difference between the winning and the losing of the match. A fella being able to execute a hook as Liam was bearing down on goal, and Erin's own, they probably deserve their win.
I think so in the overall context of the barring maybe the second quarter of the first half. I think Sars played extremely well in that stage of the game, but for the other 3 quarters of the match, I think Erin's own were the better team, and we had mentioned it earlier on that Sars couldn't win their own puck out in the first half, for the exception probably of Aaron Myers, and that kind of caught him for the rest of the game, to be honest with you, because they just couldn't break down that Erin's own half back line, where I think James O'Flynn was outstanding. I mentioned Cian O'Connor and Cormac Dooley, unsung heroes there I think tonight. Stephen Cronin as well. Colin Coakley in the middle of the field was very, very industrious, and we saw a lovely clip at the end of the game there. Owen Bear Murphy, I'd say he ran 70 yards to shake hands with Conor O'Sullivan at the end of the game. Conor obviously is really, really down, and would be very disappointed because Sars would have had eyes out themselves, I suppose, on getting to a semi-final against the Glen. But I think again tonight we're going to be talking about the format of the championship. I think that anything could happen, and even though that Sars are really, really impressive in the group stages, Erin's own may not, and they'd admit that themselves.
Yeah,
and
a
took
loss,
a
a draw,
minute,
and a win.
And one goal and 3 points in the last 6 minutes of the game to beat Newtown, or to get a draw against Newtown Shandrum, and they find themselves in a county semi-final. It has been magnificent. Anything can happen in this championship in Cork this year.
A nice moment, as you mentioned there, between two of the players, O'Sullivan and, did you say, Bear Murphy, but also Shea Bowen just went down to do a fist pump with Alan Kennedy. This game was neck and neck throughout. Erin's own led by 10 points to 8 at half time. At the water break in the second half, it was 110 to 13 points. Erin's own obviously did what they needed to do after that, 16 points to 112. The final score, Cathal Lenihan came in, made a big impact, got a point. Owen Murphy got 2 frees in that time from the water break to the end of the second half, and Erin's own are through to the Co-op Superstores Cork Senior Hurling Championship semi-final. Fraggy, I know it's disappointing, but as you've already said, they deserved their win. Was it the work rate? Was that the difference?
Their work rate was immense tonight, to be honest. obviously, no team goes out to kind of play poorly. But Sars, they didn't perform tonight. But you have to give credit to Erins own. A lot of it was down to, I suppose, just their intense work rate, especially up in their forward line. We were mentioning in the first half that Sars were struggling to clear the Erins own half back line, and that was just down to the pressure that the Erins own forwards were putting on Sars. And to be fair to Erins own, we remarked in the first half how they had a number of wides. If they had taken those, Sars would have been in a lot kind of worse position in the second half. And Erins own, they played better on the night. Sars were kind of living off scraps. They never really got into their flow. When Sars got the goal, you're looking to get the next couple of scores just to put the doubt into Erins own. But no, it was Owen Murphy up in the corner on the 13, got the point, and just Erins own stayed in the game at that point, and then they just kept going, and they got ahead, and bar the goal chance at the end, they deserved to win.
And probably the introduction of Cathal Linehan had a big bearing in the game as well. He got 2 great scores, and he set up a couple of other scores as well. He was fouled for another point that Owen Murphy converted. But I think in the overall context, Erins own and led by Martin Bowen, and any team that comes out of Erins own that Martin is involved in, you'll always get 100%. You know that, Kieran, down through the years. And we saw it today in the Ballyhale game. They were raging hot favourites, but they were put to the pin of the collars, and they had the likes of TJ Reid and Colin Fennelly playing tonight. They're like, Colin Fennelly has got 8 county medals, he's got 4 All-Stars, he's got 4 All-Irelands, he's 2 All-Ireland clubs. There's nothing, I suppose, at that standard at the moment, I suppose, in Sars, Kieran, and they're very, very young, and they learn from tonight, because the Sars team is very, very young. That's a very experienced Erins own team that's out there, like Kieran Murphy, Owen Murphy, Stephen Cronin, and remember that Shane Murphy went off injured as well in the first half. So, I think it's a magnificent performance tonight from Erins own. And that's the real story. I suppose Sars will be disappointed. They've been scoring 321 in matches. To only score 111, they'll be really disappointed with that. But the story to me tonight is the Erins own defence. I thought, to a man, they were outstanding.
I spoke to Martin Bowen last night, and I said it to him. You have a lot of older players, a lot of guys who were around in 06, 07, a few guys who were around in 2000 as well. I think Sean Kelly and Shea Bowen might be in that group. I said, this year, are you noticing that it's actually the older guys who are driving it, because they know that you don't have too many chances in life, and this year more than any year we've been reminded of that when you have the chance you have to take it, and it kind of looked like that tonight. It looked like they were driven on by their experienced players who just were never going to be knocked down. They were never going to stay on the canvas.
Yeah, I remember there a moment in the second half where Conor O'Sullivan was running out with the ball, and Mark, you commented on Kieran Murphy chasing back Conor O'Sullivan 60 yards, and it resulted in Erins own dispossessing Sars in around the middle when Conor went to lay it off. And that's what they have. They have that kind of experience. Owen Murphy, these guys, they've been to county finals, they've won county finals, and it's a huge bonus. And I suppose when you look at the size of their forward line, the one thing they're not afraid to do is just lump the ball into the full forward position and work off the breaks from there, and they have that. And then you throw in the likes of Robbie O'Flynn, Cian O'Callaghan. They have some great hurlers too on top of that, so they're not relying solely on long ball or anything like that. And they'll go back to Glounthaune. They'll play the Glen next now, Mark, and
they'll be relishing that challenge, because the Glen are on the north side of the city, and Erins own are only a couple of hills, I suppose, over the road.
And
to
it's
be
another
honest,
free shot for them, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. But I can tell you now, they won't be thinking that this is a free shot. They're thinking county final is what they're thinking.
But what I mean is the pressure is off them, and that's a huge advantage.
Absolutely. And I mean, they came tonight they came with a confidence this evening that they had every opportunity. They've grown up beside the lads in Riverstown and Glounthaune, in that area. They know each other so well. They, forget about the prices and the bookies and all that kind of stuff. This was one neighbouring community against another community, and there's a huge amount of relationships and cousins and brothers and are in different clubs and stuff like that. I wasn't surprised. I probably surprised with the result. I wasn't surprised with the performance that Erins own came with tonight, because I knew this would go to the wire. Once they were in the game at half time, they were always going to have a chance. Fraggy, final thoughts?
Yeah, obviously from a Sars perspective, it's very disappointed. They've had a great year so far. I mean, they had some great wins against Middleton and Douglas in particular. I suppose, we spoke here the last day at the Middleton Douglas game about the format of the championship, and it's a bit like the intercounty at the moment. You just make sure you get out of the group stage. Once you get out of the group stage, anything can happen then at that point. It's knockout hurling, and Sars were the form team of the two kind of coming into this game. But once you get out of the group, you give yourself an opportunity. Erins came up here with no pressure tonight, and they performed, and they go on now, and they played the Glen in the semi-final probably down here again, and that's one that that they'll be looking forward to, and they deserve to progress on their performance.
Yeah, I mean, I concur with everything that Kieran is saying there. I mean, Sars will be bitterly disappointed, but this is what knockout championship is all about. You get your 60 minutes to actually to get your opportunity to win your game. And I want to compliment Joe Larkin. I'd say, barring maybe one incident there in the second half, for the quick line ball that was taken, I think he got all the decisions probably right over the course of the game. He tried his best to leave the game flow, and then the other thing that was remarkable tonight is the amount of hooks and blocks that were there, and particularly James O'Flynn late in the game. That definitely that hook there won the game, I think, for Erins, and it would have been rough justice, I think, if the goal had gone in. But that's what happens in championship matches, and in the overall context, it's great to see an upset in the championship as well. You have two more quarter-finals tomorrow. You have Blackrock and Erins playing each other. Blackrock and Douglas playing first, and then you have UCC and the PSHC. Who knows what's going to happen there?
Both live on the Irish Examiner, so keep an eye out for that one. Erins have beaten Sarsfields in the Co-op Superstores Cork Premier Senior Hurling Championship quarter-final. They'll go on to meet Glen Rovers in the semi-finals, and I know what you're thinking, the Glen will win that, but didn't you think tonight Sarsfields will win that? And they didn't. Just goes to show, in sport anything can happen, and in this year of all years, we need this, don't we? We need games like this, we need entertainment like this, we need guys like this to do what they're doing, girls like this to do what they're doing. It's fantastic, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, and the other thing about this is that, in fairness, that the Examiner have come together with the Cork County Board to be able to stream this to people. I know that last night we covered, and Kieran was here as well, we covered Douglas and Midland. There was 24,000 people logged in that night to watch the game live. I think that's a massive number, and I think, I don't know what would have happened tonight, but I think Twitter would have went probably mad during the course of the game, seeing that Erins was so close in it, and I think they were treated to a very, very close game. But the big thing is that the fact that patrons can't be here this evening, but the Examiner, and fair play to the Co-op Superstores for getting behind it, and the sponsorship, it's all positive, and anything could happen. Anything can happen in the course of this championship.
You're getting a thumbs up from one of the Erins lads.
Bear Murphy,
Bear Murphy, no better
give
man.
us a thumbs up. He'd be delighted with tonight.
Well, he can watch it back if he wants. We're delighted to have brought this game to you. We appreciate that. It is a massive honour to actually be in the stadiums for these matches, even if, Fraggy, unfortunately for you, it doesn't go your way results wise and team wise, and Mark as neutrals, it's great to be here as well.
We're the lucky people.
Yeah.
We genuinely, I mean, there was a couple of fellas slagging me during the week about not being able to go to the match, and we're here tonight, and Kieran again, and there's nothing that the GA can do about it. But I think the big news that is coming from today as well is that there's going to be an inter-county scene, which is massive as well. And you'd be hoping in the next couple of weeks that we may see patrons being allowed back to be able to see county
patrons. This isn't the Masters.
Yeah, it would be great.
He spends a couple of days down in West Waterford Golf Club, and he starts talking like he's a regular in Atlanta.
This is moving weekend now at the quarterfinals. We had
Stop
some
it,
move
Mark.
tonight,
You're embarrassing me. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the coverage. You especially enjoyed it if you were watching from in and around Glantown, because your team has won by a point. Erins will meet Glen Rovers in the county semi-final. 2 more quarterfinals being broadcast by the Irish Examiner tomorrow, and I hope you join us for that. Thanks for joining us from here in Porky Queeve, where we've seen a bit of a shock. Erins winning by a point. Until tomorrow, goodbye.